All right, tubers, Matt and Roy back once again. I don't know how many of you guys are actually going to see this. I didn't announce it. This is just something I wanted to do really, really quick, mainly as a test. If you've seen the tagline, it's basically it's good to try things from a new perspective. And what I mean by that is I've actually been playing around with readjusting my webcam setup. Now, the main reason I did this is because the live computer build is coming up. And yes, that is coming up. I promised you guys that, and I am definitely going to deliver on that. The only kink in the works is the fact that I have not gotten the SSD drives in yet. They're on back order. They're probably not going to get here until February 3rd. So what my plan is, I want to go ahead and maybe just run out to Best Buy and pick up one of their PNY CS900 drives. They're a little bit more. They used to be, as of about a month ago, they were $27.99. Now they're $34.99. So I may just wind up doing that, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get to do that yet or not. But the reason that you see me on this perspective is it's not going to work for me to do the live stream of the live computer refurb build, whatever you want to call it, with the camera on top of the monitor. It just doesn't work well there. It's too far away and it doesn't want to focus. So my plan is I'm actually using this tripod here, which you really can't see, but it's a really good one. It's actually a Japanese built tripod from actually the late 60s. But believe it or not, ever since then, they've used the same size mount. So I'm able to put pretty much any type of camera on it that accepts a standard tripod mount. And fortunately, my webcam does. So this is the setup I am going to do for the live computer build, which will be coming hopefully in the next few days. I'm going to be using the Yeti mic, which you see in front of me. I will probably take the pop filter off, mainly because I don't need it. The only reason I have it here is because my mouth is so close to the mic, and if I didn't, you'd be hearing that put, put, put sound all the time. That being said, I'm going to have to turn the gain up on the mic all the way. Now, if this really becomes an interesting series and I'm able to generate enough revenue from it, then I may go ahead and step up my game and actually purchase a wireless lapel mic that I can actually tether to my desktop, basically, similar to what Carrie Holzman does. But unfortunately, I am not at that point yet. So we're just gonna have to see how well this works. And now that I'm seeing this, you know what? We're gonna do something here real quick. Because the chat window is actually on the other side. We're going to move this setup around just a bit. I'm going to go ahead and go like this. That way, if I'm reading the chat window, I can actually see you YouTubers as well. And now that I notice it, the lighting's even better. So 2 bonuses there. Victor Del Fuente, hey Matt, I like the quick cook video on the meatballs. By the way, how were they? They were delicious. Now, I have to tell you, that is not the healthiest way to cook your meatballs. It's okay. Matter of fact, the veggie meatballs are actually very healthy for you for the most part, especially the ones from IKEA. They're all like non-GMO. They don't have a lot of added salt or sugars. But the way I did it with the strawberry, or in this case, the grape jelly, that adds a lot of sugar. So if you want to make it for yourself and you want to be a little bit more healthy, just don't put in the grape jelly or the fruit spread, because I actually use fruit spread. But yeah, they were excellent. And I was really surprised because I had those meatballs at IKEA when we visited there, and then I decided to buy some. And when I had the ones that they cooked in the cafeteria, I wasn't really that impressed. I didn't think they tasted that good, but I figured I'd give them a chance. And I guess in the end, I was right. What I think happened was they cooked them maybe an hour or two before I got them, so they kind of dried out and they just tasted really off. Like the outside was really really crispy, like overly crispy, like you wouldn't want a meatball to be. and the inside was dried out instead of being moist. So if you ever at IKEA, look for their veggie meatballs, and if they're done right, they actually taste really, really good. Eric goes, if there was time, I could come down with some of my live streaming equipment. I would love that, Eric, because you definitely have better equipment than I do. If you guys have not been on Eric's Variety channel, he actually has video capture cards. He has a multi-camera setup to where he can be working on a computer, show one camera there, and then the other camera will actually be on him. And I know he uses OBS Studios to do that. I don't have that kind of setup. So when I do the live build, my idea is, again, I'm going to use this same setup. This webcam is actually really, really good at focusing, even at great distances. And you guys are just going to have to see me in the background. So probably not going to be able to answer questions. I might do like what Kerry Holzman does, and I'll take a pause for the cause and come to the chat window and try to answer as many as I can. But for now, that's the way the setup's going to have to be. But I think it'll be really interesting too. And I will give you guys plenty of time before I actually do that. I'll give you guys hopefully at least a day, a day's notice before I actually do that video. Devin Whitlock, hey Matt, can't wait to see the computer build. Also, how many computers do you have set up in your room, and what does each one do? Well, good question, and I'm glad you're looking forward to that video, because I'm looking forward to putting that out too. I think that's going to be an awesome video, and I wish it could be a collaborative video. Eric, buddy, if you're ever down in the area, please stop by. I want to do a collaboration video. You and I doing a computer build, I think would be absolutely awesome. And yes, I know I need to look at the camera here, not where it used to be. That being said, I actually have 5 computers. I have this one, the one behind me, which you're not going to be able to see, which is my data backup rig. And then I have my laptop set up in the alcove, which is my media center PC. And then I have my 2 vintage gaming systems over by the window over there. I may be changing it around a little bit, though. My plan is to take the laptop out of there, because I really don't want to use that on a daily basis. I don't want to stress it out, because that's my only working laptop at the moment. And probably going to refurbish one of these Core i5 systems that I got in the hall on last Friday and put that in the alcove. I know I should be selling them all, but you know what? Sometimes you got to keep 1 or 2 of the best ones for yourself. Eric goes, just remember, I don't get out of work until 1800, LOL. Well, I'll tell you something. I don't feel like I ever get out of work. I'm going to give you guys a brief synopsis of my day. And this is for real. This is how it works. I get up usually around 7:30 or 8 in the morning. First thing I do is pick up my 10-inch Kindle Fire and look at emails, answer messages, usually on Facebook Messenger, people that are wanting to buy something of mine, a computer or what have you, because I do a lot of Facebook Marketplace now. That takes me maybe about 15 minutes, and I get up, I get dressed, I stagger downstairs because I haven't had my cup of coffee yet. I got to have my cup of coffee or I can't do anything. Have my cup of coffee. I cook my breakfast, usually oatmeal, but luckily I do that the night before. So cooking it means just reheating it in the microwave. And I do the same for my dad, because he and I are both eating the same breakfast now. I do my exercises while eating. Yep, I actually do my exercising while eating. It actually promotes, they say it promotes better metabolization, but who knows, right? So that takes me into about 9 o'clock when I get done there. Then I go back upstairs. I work on computer repairs if I have any in, which I usually do. And then I'll do that for about 2 or 3 hours. And then I'll go ahead and run around to the thrift stores. Usually that takes me a few more hours, because I go to at least 2 or 3 a day on average. So where are we at now? We're at about 2 or 3 in the afternoon. Now, I haven't mentioned about what I eat. I usually eat in between working on the customer PCs and going to the thrift stores for lunch. So usually I have like chicken salad sandwich and soup. So now we're at like 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and that's when I have my dinner, which you guys know I eat. I do the 18, what is it? 16, 8. So 16 hours not eating, 8 hours eating. So pretty much the rest of the night is me working on these computers. I mean, I do that literally from about 3 in the afternoon till about 9:30 at night, which is when I go to bed. So that is a typical day in the life of Matt M. Roy right now. Now, do I have other things I do? Yeah, like today we went and saw a movie. We actually went and saw Knives Out, which is an awesome what would you call it? Like a thriller slash mystery drama. Definitely something I would recommend seeing, but I'm not going to say anything about it because I don't want to be called out for giving out spoilers. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, life sometimes gets in the way, and that's really, whoa, don't want that close to my face. That's really what's been happening to me lately. And honestly, I've been on a roller coaster of emotions, which I always am anyway. I mean, that's just me. I tend to be kind of a energetic, anxious person. Interestingly enough, when I was younger, I had a type B or maybe even a type C personality. I was very shy, very a submissive person. Now that I'm older, I'm definitely more type A. I am much more outgoing. I'm not necessarily afraid to go up to people and say hi, though it still kind of scares me, if I don't know you really well. But that being said, it's something you got to learn. And when life throws you, I hate to use this platitude, but when life throws you lemons or throws you a curveball, you got to kind of learn how to deal with it. And I just kind of wanted to put that out there because I think a lot of you out there are probably going through things similar to what I've been going through. Yeah, I saw Dell Attitude D820's message. It's a shame he has to call himself that. I mean, it's really sad that people have such a negative view of themselves. You know what? You're not. You're not. You can be a good person if you want to be. Oh, it was Knives Out. It was really, really good. It had Daniel Craig. I'll say one thing about the movie. It had Daniel Craig as the inspector, and that's all I'm going to say because I don't want to give any spoilers out. Oh, all right. What I want to do real quick, I want to go ahead and go into the comment section because I think a few of you left me comments the other day. Actually, what it's called is hang on. You have to go in YouTube Studio and you have to go into comments. Wow. Okay. Well, apparently the comment section is down right now. I don't have any comments up there. Wow. Oh, cool. Dell Latitude D820 made this account in school on his laptop. Well, don't get caught using it. If you're supposed to be studying and learning, that's important. So do that, and you can catch one of my live streams at a later time. But if you're on a break, yeah, stay, definitely. I don't know what's going on with the comments here on YouTube. Something is really messed up here. Come on. Let's go into the classic. I wonder if that's the culprit. Let's see. Wow. No. I'm in the community section. I'm on comments, and I have selected all videos. And do you know that no comments are displayed for any of my videos? That is really, really bizarre. Let me know if you guys are having the same problem as I am. That's interesting. I know that YouTube's been doing a lot of feature upgrades lately, but unreal. Okay. So hopefully this setup is working a little bit better. If you guys enjoy, I think the lighting's a little bit better. The usual perspective you have of me is kind of like this up here, which kind of washes my face out too much. So I think with the webcam, especially in this way, maybe if I turn this off a little bit, yeah, I actually think that's even better. Eric goes, I can view mine through the studio page. Yeah, I tried that. I'm going to try it again. Go back to YouTube Studio. Okay. Go to comments. No comments found. Try searching for something else or removing filters. And I have no filters in at all. Filters are empty. No comments available. So it must be a glitch on YouTube's side, but we'll have to get to that in another live stream. Okay, so I want to go over some numbers with you guys out there, because there have been a lot of naysayers that have been telling me that I'm never going to make any money on that load of computers that I picked up from eBay. And I've done this a couple of times, but I do want to reiterate it is possible. And the main reason I'm doing this is I want you guys out there to realize that, yes, you can make money doing this. So I picked up the computers. We're looking at $1,600. That was my price. Everything told, the gas to go there, pick them up, bring them back, yada, 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 as Seinfeld would say. So 1,600 divided by, okay, and I'm even going to be more fair than this, because I'm going to keep two of those computers. So 1,600 divided by 38 makes it $42 a tower. Now, if I add in all the upgrades I'm going to do them, so almost everyone's going to get an SSD. So we got $42 a tower. So an SSD is going to be, on average, another 32. And then pairing it with a monitor, keyboard, and mouse, that's going to be about another $20. Again, my cost. So we're up to 94 right now. These all have licenses, so I don't need to buy a license for Windows 10. I'll usually load something like LibreOffice or OpenOffice. Sometimes I'll load Office 365 at the buyer's expense. But for other incidentals, let's just round this up. I'm going to say that each one of those computers, my cost is going to be $100. So I'm $100 in on each of those computers. Now, realistically, the cheapest of those computers being the third gen i3s. I think the slowest processors I have are the third gen i3s. Those computers in my area, I can sell for $180 to $200 all day long. 180, they'll fly out of here within a week. If I put it at 200 or 220, it might take me a few weeks to do it. So what we're going to do, we're going to do an average purchase price of $180. So that means my profit on each of those computers is $80. So once I go through those 38 computers, I'm going to do it right now. My profit, mind you, from this endeavor should be around $3,000. Now, that being said, there's every chance it's going to be even a little bit higher than that, because some of these computers are going to sell for more than that $180 price point. There are quite a few fourth gen i3s. There's quite a few fourth gen i5s. Apparently, the seller wasn't exactly accurate when they gave me the list, the manifest of what each computer had in it. It turns out there are quite a few more i5s there than I thought. Originally I thought that out of the 40 computers they had listed, I think 16 of them as having i5 processors, but from my count, it's more like 20 now. So with that added bonus, I'm probably looking more around the 3,200 to maybe 3,500 profit price point. Now, again, to sell all those computers is probably going to take me 2 or 3 months, but it's a decent profit. And now, is that the only thing I do? No, I have my feet in other areas, let's say. But I want to give you guys the numbers, because a lot of people out there didn't believe there was any money in this endeavor, but that just proves to you that there is a profit to be made on this type of investment. You have to be willing to work hard for it, though. I'm not going to give you any qualms about that one. What Dell Latitude DA20? What do I make with all the PCs? Well, they're refurbished computers, and once I put up the video on how I do that, you'll understand it more. But basically, the whole premise is getting the computers in, physically cleaning them out. I go much deeper than that, though. I actually reapply thermal paste to the CPU cooler. I go ahead and replace the CMOS batteries, and then I do diagnostics, making sure that all the hardware is in good shape. Then I go ahead and reload Windows, and at this point, it's usually Windows 10. And then I go ahead and immediately update the BIOS, which is something that a lot of refurbishers out there forget to do. Dushend, and I'm not even going to try that last name. Sorry. It goes, hello, Matt from Macedonia. Can't wait for the PC build video. A lot of you guys are telling me you want that video, so it is definitely coming. As soon as I get an SSD in, we're going to make that happen. It may be, I'm going to be perfectly honest, I don't know how the first one is going to turn out, but you guys are definitely going to be getting a video, and I think with this mic and this camera setup, it's going to look half decent. I don't know what's going on here. I'm getting like a reverb sound. I don't know if you guys are getting that or not. I doubt it, because I'm sure I would have heard something already. But guys, gals, that's about it. That's really all I wanted to talk about today. I wanted to give you an update on how everything was going. As of this filming of this live stream, I've been through about 5 of those towers. So I've gotten 5 of them done. I'm trying to do the older ones because I want to save a really good one for the live build. And I've actually sold one so far. Now, in my area, I'm not going to be selling much of anything until the 1st of February, and that's because I live in a military area where the majority of the people that live in my area get paid by the military or the government. And the way the government pays is on the 15th and the 30th. They do it twice a month. So my biggest sale times are, oddly enough, right after the 1st, so like the 1st to the 5th of each month, and then the 16th to the 20th of each month. So I actually plan my purchases and my builds around those dates, and that way I'm able to maximize my profits, because even though I could sell a computer now, I wouldn't be able to get the max amount of profit out of it, because there just isn't the money out there. It's not fair to me as a refurbisher, because I'd have to take a lot less for the computer. So you have to be smart about it. And are there times that I give people good deals? Yes, absolutely. Better deals than I should? Yes, especially if I know somebody is struggling out there and they can't afford to get a brand new computer, and they really can't afford to pay the price of even what mine is worth. Sometimes I'll discount it 20, 30, 40%. And yeah, that is something that you should do. But bear in mind, you don't want to, what's a good word? You don't want to take a loss on your hard work. I mean, at the end of the day, you have to make yours to live in this world. But if your heart is moved by the Lord or by whoever, to give somebody a break, then yeah, go ahead. I mean, there's nothing wrong with doing that every once in a while. CFWW says, hello all. All right, Dell Latitude D820, hope to see you in the next live stream. I think it'll be really interesting. Eric's Friday channel, for some reason, the manufacturer of my new motherboard suggests not updating the BIOS unless there is a problem. Yeah. And I could tell you why that is, because they've already found an issue with the new BIOS that they put out that probably fixed an issue with the previous version, but creates a whole other issue. So what they're saying is, look, let's just tell these people, if their computer's working great, just leave it as is. Don't create another issue just by having them update the BIOS. That happened to me Back during my first Pentium 4 build, I had an Asus P4 P800 motherboard, and that was the issue with that. And I wound up updating the BIOS to the latest version. It fixed one problem that I had, but it caused an even worse problem. So be very wary about BIOS updates. Now, that being said, the ones that I do on the Dell Optiplexes, I do because they're older versions that Dell put out, and they guarantee don't have any glitches in them. Like the BIOSes that I'm updating, I'm going from like A04, I think, on the Optiplex 3020 to like A14. And even the latest A14 BIOS was put out back in like 2016. So, it's been out for 4 years. It's been tried and true and tested, and they know there aren't any problems. But if you have a new motherboard out there, be very wary of BIOS updates. They can cause a lot of problems. Do I ever use anything like Snappy Driver? No, never heard of it. Honestly, I don't have any issues with drivers ever since Windows 10 came out. Windows 7 was pretty good with built-in drivers. Windows 8 was even better. Windows 10 is almost perfect. I can't even tell you the last time I've had to go to a manufacturer's website to install like a video card driver or a Wi-Fi driver or a Bluetooth driver. Windows just always finds the best drivers. It's amazing. They have got the plug and play thing down pat. Jonathan Grindle recommends I get an OBI 200 for free home phone service. It's interesting you say that because we're actually considering getting rid of our Verizon Fios phone. Basically, we pay for cable, internet, and phone. And if we do that, I'll look into that one. I appreciate it. Thanks for the tip on that. Eric's right, channel. We do not recommend users to update the BIOS if their system is already running normally. ASRock assumes no responsibility for any damage caused by improper operation on their website. Oh my gosh. Yeah, ASRock would put it that way. And what they're saying is, look, the BIOS version that we have on our website might be faulty, and if you install it on your motherboard and you brick your board, we're not liable for the damage. That's exactly what they're saying there. So be wary. If your computer's running fine, especially if it's a custom built system with something like an Asus, ASRock, MSI motherboard, don't update the BIOS. Just don't do it. It causes so many problems. Now, if you do have an issue with the motherboard that will be resolved by a BIOS update, then you may want to risk it. But even then, I would be weary about it. I would say, look, I believe with modern motherboards, you can't do it with the older ones, but the more modern motherboards, like anything maybe post 2015, I believe there is a recovery file, is what they call it now, that you can actually install on your hard drive to where you could actually revert back to the previous BIOS revision. But remember, if you put that new BIOS in and it doesn't take, or it halfway takes, and it bricks the board, in other words, when you push the power button, your computer won't post anymore, there is nothing on God's green earth that is going to make that motherboard good again. It's short of replacing the North Bridge, South Bridge, and I think you may even have to replace the I/O chip. I can't think of what it's called, but basically you would have to re-chip your motherboard to get that up and running again. Yeah, Eric, I did. I watched the end, at least, of your live stream. I'm sorry, I didn't get the alert until I got home from the movies. He said he really likes the Ryzen 2700K. Really nice update from the 4790 he was running. I do need to get into a Ryzen system, hopefully one day in the future. For now, I'm just in with Intels right now. Devin Whitlock loved Windows XP and does miss it. Move on, please. I know. I get it. Windows XP was a great operating system in its day, but it's had its time. You can use it if you need to run a program that needs Windows XP specifically, but do not use it on the internet. It's just not safe anymore. I don't care what antivirus, what firewalls you put up, it's just not safe. All right, everybody, I have got to go out and do some shopping. I am going to end it here. Hopefully, you guys are going to be pumped up like I am for the live computer build. Thank you, everybody, to coming here. i386, Eric's Variety Channel, Devin Whitlock, Jonathan Grindle, everybody else I might have missed. I'll read this one last thing from i386, and then I need to go and do some grocery shopping. You can get a new BIOS chip on an old board like the ones I had, 433 megahertz award BIOS. You could replace the actual chip. You could, but in the end of the day, it's going to be better just not to do that BIOS update, because soldering those in is a real pain, and you have to have a really good high-temp soldering iron to resolder chips on computer boards. All right, everybody, thanks for coming, and as always, have a blessed day, everybody.